Caitlin? Yeah. What's your power? Nature. That's why my wings are green. Oh. Yeah. How long have you been a fairy? 10 years. 10 years? Oh my gosh, you know so much now. Yeah. I'll tell you my story. At the time, my parents were king and queen, so they were never home. So I always had a babysitter. The babysitter wasn't very good, so I got out of the house and I went to the woods. But when I went, I felt like I wasn't alone, and I heard a sound. So I started to look around. But there was something really there, so I just kept on walking. But then I heard it again. So I hid in the tall grass that they obviously never, ever cut. And I hid there. Until a fairy fell out of the sky. And I was so scared. I didn't know what to do. She looked so pretty, but I didn't want to say anything. She noticed me right away, and she told me to get it out of the grass. So I did. Since my parents were never really home, I didn't know what to do because they didn't really teach me any lessons on life. She asked me where my parents were, and I said that I didn't know because my parents never told me that they were fairies. So I told her that I didn't know where they were, and she said that she might know. So she told me to get close to her. So I did that because I didn't know what to do. And then we transported somewhere that changed my life. We transported to the fairy world. She told me that she might know where my parents are. And we walked to the training yard, which I didn't know it was the training yard because I was only little and I've never been here before. So I followed her. So I followed her into here, and I saw 2 angry men staring at my parents and Queen Elizabeth. She wasn't the queen back then. My mom and dad were the king and queen. And then the fairy, she told me to go back outside very, very quickly. So I did. And she looked back and then she followed me. Because apparently it was very bad people. She did a little spell on me. And then I transported. And apparently I transported back to my home. And I don't know what happened after that. My dad came home that night, and I told him I knew where he went. I asked him, did you go to a magical fairy place? And he said, yes. And he told me that my mother had died that night. And I cried and cried, and I didn't go to school the next day. And my dad had to rule this place all by himself. But soon he realized that I needed a parent at home, and I couldn't just be at home with the babysitter all the time. So he left here, and he came to raise me. And then Queen Elizabeth was very close to them. They were almost best friends with my parents. So she became the queen. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Wow. So your mom died that night? Yeah, she died that night. Yeah. And, yeah, that was the first time I ever came here. And now I know that fairy's name. It was Bubblegum. Yep. It was me. So, yeah, that's pretty much how they came to be. So, yeah. So were those angry people that were talking to your parents, were those the dark fairies? Yes, they were. And they were the dark fairies. I still have no idea what they were talking about to my parents. I haven't asked my dad. I didn't ask my dad, but yeah, so that's pretty much the background. Wow. Yeah, you guys better get going. Me too. So just say transport home and you'll go. So yeah, bye guys. Aren't you gonna transport too? I'll transport in a little bit. I'm just gonna hang out here for a little while. Okay. Well, bye. Bye.